Hey everyone. Welcome, welcome. We'll give you some time to get in here. Hope everyone had a great week. Happy Friday.
Yeah, you ready for the holiday weekend, the long weekend, hopefully?
Just to let you all know, you'll be cameras off. It'll just be Lindsay and I on screen, but feel free to chat it up using the chat section.
Yeah.
And you'll want to set your settings to everyone. It defaults to host and panelists. You want to change it so that everyone can see your comments. Please. We'll give it just a few more minutes to let everybody get settled in before we get started.
Is it super hot where everyone is? It's hot where I am.
Same.
Ready for barbecue season. Let's drink some wine, Jack. Yep.
Just a few minutes here. Hot in SoCal, Shirley.
I know my plants are wilting. I didn't get to water them yet. It's supposed to rain tonight, so I didn't bother. But
nice. Same here. I think it's supposed to rain off and on all weekend, actually.
yeah.
Pleasant in Minnesota. That sounds wonderful, Mitch. I cannot say the same for Kansas.
Nor for New York. At least it's not terribly humid. Just hot.
It could be humider here.
Right. It always be humid.
I'll say that. There's a little bit of humidity. Oh yeah, I bet Louisiana is really humid.
Oh, yeah.
Kathy's in Central California, not too bad there. I'm jealous. All right. Well, let's jump on in. We've got a lot to go over tonight. So I'm Lauren, Wine Concierge team lead here at First Leaf, joined by the lovely
Lindsay, a Wine Concierge here also at First Leaf. We have already told you where we are. I'm in New York, or it's in Kansas. I've been with First Leaf for about 10 months now. Hello from upstate as well, Amy. I'm also upstate New York. We're excited to share some of these fun wines with you guys tonight and talk about what sort of foods to pair them with for all your barbecues you have planned for the summertime. I'll let Lauren go over the few housekeeping things we have, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, so like I mentioned at the beginning, I don't think all of you are quite in here yet though, but it'll just be Lindsay and I on screen, but we strongly encourage you to participate in the chat section. We've got Tori, our Wine Concierge, in the chat section to help answer any questions that Lindsay and I can't address or that we miss. So definitely feel free to chat us up and make sure you have your settings turned to everyone. It defaults to hosts and panelists. You'll see it right above where you type your message in. So change that to everyone so we can all see it, not just Lindsay and I. So if you've got your bottles opened and ready, we're going to get started with the Threaded Tail Viognier. This one's from Lodi, California, and it's a 2019. The Viognier grape is typically a fuller bodied grape, pretty well known for having some floral notes. In cooler climates, like maybe Oregon, Washington State, it's usually aged in stainless steel and you get some citrus and tree fruit flavors. In warmer climates, it's usually aged in oak barrels and then you get more of the tropical fruit notes. Lodi is more of a moderate climate, so we're going to get a little bit of both in this one. This is 13% ABV, alcohol by volume, so 13% alcohol. So let's get started. Pour yourself a glass. There we go. And then we're going to start by taking a peek at it. Check out the color and kind of intensity. It's fairly light, but you can already kind of tell there's a little bit of weight to it. And what color would you say this is, Lindsay? I'm thinking somewhere between like a golden lemon.
Yeah, I think it's mostly lemon, almost on its way to golden, which makes me think it probably had a touch of oak there in somewhere, but definitely you can, like you said, tell that it's not going to be super light.
Yeah, it's also had a couple of years to age. Whites get a little bit darker with time.
Yeah, this is a 2019, so it's
older for a white.
Yeah.
All right, so let's give it a swirl. We're going to swirl all of our wines to really release those aromas. And then you want to stick your nose down in there. Don't be afraid.
Welcome, Jessica. Feel free to ask any questions that you have. There's no stupid questions.
Not at all. So stick your nose down in there. We're going to start out looking for some fruit notes. So what fruit notes are you all smelling? I think I'm getting a little bit of pear.
Yeah, I think this one's not as pronounced.
The fruit notes aren't, no.
It's kind of, you really got to kind of stick your nose in there and think real hard about what sort of fruits you're familiar with. But yeah, I get a lot of pear.
Maybe a little bit of apricot, depending on what part of the country you're in.
So yeah, lots of little pineapple there.
Is anyone getting any floral notes? Maybe a little apple, yeah. What about even a little bit of vanilla?
Yeah, definitely. I get the floral notes. Definitely get a little bit of white flower on there. Some sort of blossom, maybe an apple blossom.
Ooh, Erin said maybe jasmine.
Maybe.
Well, let's give it a taste. See if we taste the same things that we smell. That's what we're all here for, right?
Mm-hmm. No, good rule of thumb is to take that first sip and let it sort of coat your mouth, and then go back and take a second sip and see how it really develops.
I'm still getting some pear.
Yeah. I get a lot of pear with this one.
A little bit more of that like vanilla, bready, brioche. I definitely think this one was oaked.
Yeah.
Some oak barrels. Is anybody else picking up on that? Some vanilla or some almost like a brioche bread?
Does anyone think it's sweet?
I don't think it's too sweet. I know you think it's a little sweeter than I do, though.
Well, I think it's definitely just, it's not a bone dry, crisp white by any means. I think maybe that sort of, you know, brioche is a sweeter bread style. Definitely have a touch of fruit, and yeah, I wouldn't say that it's a dessert wine by any means, or even off dry, but it just has a little bit touch of sweetness to it that I think is nice. It's refreshing. I like that in the summertime to have a little bit more of a sweet note.
Yeah. What do you think about the body? Do you think it's heavier than like your standard Sauvignon Blanc?
Oh yeah, I do.
What about everyone else? How do you feel about the body? That's the mouth feel. So how it coats your mouth. We often compare it to the different like scales of milk. So you've got your whole milk, that's going to be similar to like a full-bodied wine. Your skim milk is going to be more similar to a light-bodied wine. And then, your 1%, 2% are kind of in the middle there. What do you guys think about the body?
Or even just in comparison to like a heavy oaky Chardonnay. Would you say it's as heavy as that? I don't think so. I don't
think it's quite that heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
medium. Yeah, I would agree. And then what about the acidity? We can do a little acidity exercise. So take some in your mouth, swallow it, and then you're going to hang your head like Lindsay's doing and start counting. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, up to 5. The longer your mouth is watering for, the higher the acidity in the wine. What did you get, Lindsay?
I got like a 1 or a 2, like low acidity.
Oh yeah, very low.
Yeah.
Which isn't super common for a white. Usually,
no, typically they're up a little bit higher, but
yeah. Oh, Amy's getting that buttery flavor. Yeah, I definitely get that buttery creaminess.
Yeah, definitely the more it warms up, you're going to start to see different notes. If you just pull this out of the refrigerator, it's going to taste different than if it's been sitting, on your table for even 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, and this one's not super fruity, so the colder it is, the harder it's going to be for you to find those fruit notes.
Yeah. Yeah, it almost gets a little bit of more of a citrus note as it warms up. Like there's a undernote there.
I would definitely agree with that. All right, well, what do you want to talk about Lodi and the food pairings?
Sure. So, like I said, this one is from Lodi, California. Lodi is about twice the size of Napa, and it's known for growing a multitude of different kinds of grapes. If you've been on other tastings with us before, we love to visit Lodi with our wines. I love the wines that come out of there. I just think they're so interesting and great representations of what the grape is supposed to be. That's kind of what Lodi is known for, producing varietals that taste like what they're supposed to taste like classically. It has the same climate as southern France and northern Spain, so it's great for white wine production, like the Viognier. Now, if we were to pair this with some food, some barbecue foods, which is why we're all here, right? I think definitely a potato salad, grilled chicken, grilled shrimp. It's really going to pair nicely with some of those more delicate proteins because it doesn't need to fight with them, doesn't need to really, fight through them like it would. I wouldn't put this with your steak or anything like that. I'd pick something more delicate. Fruit salad, even if you have like, something that's really heavy in like harvest fruits, apples, cranberries, and pears would be really nice. I think it would just be great, on your picnic table with a charcuterie board. Of course, we all know that nothing doesn't go with a charcuterie board. And even like French fries or, something with a little bit more grease to it might be nice as well.
I like that.
Another thought I had was maybe even like a deviled egg or something might be an interesting pairing. I don't know if, everyone makes potato salad vibe. Right. Everyone makes potato salad different. I remember my mother used to put hard-boiled eggs in ours, and I think it would be a nice accompaniment to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Jessica said French toast. Yes, that brioche. I don't know if mustard potato salad. I feel like it's more like a mayonnaise based, that like, really hearty German potato salad is. Is that what the German potato salad is? I think. Yeah.
I'm picturing potato salad with like eggs and peas in it. I think that's the German potato salad.
Yeah, like paprika on the top is what my German aunts used to do. But I like this one. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Is it something you'd want to order again?
Yeah, what do y'all think? Don't be shy.
I like it. I mean, I've had this one before. I've had it with sort of a roasted cabbage dish in the winter time. I mean, I think this one is great year round as far as whites go. I wouldn't just relegate it to my barbecue list. I would have it in the fall. I would have it in the winter time with something a little heartier, harvested, oh yeah, goat cheese and beets. It would be great, Amy.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah, Kathy said it's not as sweet as some beignets. Yeah, some beignets can get a little sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
not quite up there. Yeah, Erin said she thinks it's more of a fall wine.
Could be, yeah.
I do agree. I think you could pair it year round.
Yeah, I think this is definitely one that you don't need to just wait for summertime.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we've got other wines in your bundle that we would recommend if you do like this one. What do you think about this, Lindsay?
Yeah, definitely. If you've had the Iron Arrow Chardonnay before, or if you haven't, if you like this one, this is another great option to try. I like to call Viogniers baby Chardonnays because I think they're, just almost as big as their counterpart in the Chardonnay department. But if you want to open that Iron Arrow Chardonnay, definitely pair it with grilled fish or chopped salad with some blue cheese dressing. Anything really, that heavier sort of pronounced funky note in the blue cheese is going to really echo back to this particular Chardonnay. Is going to be really nice.
Yeah. All right.
And goat cheese and beet salad with the Chardonnay.
There you go.
Chardonnay too.
There you go. Yeah, if you like this one, definitely try out that Iron Arrow Chardonnay that came in your bundle. You might also like the 10-year tree Viognier that's available right now. Also, you might give the Whale Light Pinot Gris a try. Any questions about the Viognier before we move on to our next wine? Going once, going twice. All right. Well, we'll scoot right along. We're going to do the Linguist Estates Dolcetto Rosé next. So let me rearrange here.
This one is exciting because I know so many people love all the Linguist Estate wines. I know you guys are always writing in asking for more of the Cab and the Sauvignon Blanc. So it's nice to have a new varietal from this brand to get to try out.
Yeah. And a somewhat different grape. Not everyone's familiar with Dolcetto.
Right. I had never heard of Dolcetto before we brought this wine in. Definitely.
Okay. So yeah, Dolcetto, it's a little bit of a bitter, more delicate grape. The actual meaning of the word is little sweet. Even though it's not a particularly sweet grape, it doesn't produce particularly sweet wines, but that's the translation of Dolcetto. It likes a little bit of time to ripen on the vine. The wines are usually noticeably have lower acidity. And that's kind of where the source of the name comes from, little sweet, because you pick up on that sweetness a little bit more with the lower acidity. So you might, if you've got a little bit of an Italian background, you might pick up on the word Dolcetto. It's an Italian name. It comes from Italy. But this one in particular is from Lodi, California. So we've got the Linguist Estates 2021 Dolcetto Rosé from Lodi. And then just a little bit of background on Rosé. If you don't know, it is made traditionally made from black grapes, red wine grapes that are fermented just the same as a red wine would be. Red wine just spends a little bit more time on the vine than a rosé. Rosé might just come in contact with the skins for maybe a day or so, and it gives it that red or that light pink color instead of the deeper red color. And that's the most traditional way to produce rosé. So if you have not already poured yourself a glass, go ahead and pour yourself some. This one is 12.5% ABV. And once you've got it poured, go ahead and give it a nice swirl. And then we're going to do the same thing. Stick your nose down on, oh, actually, we didn't talk about the color yet.
Right, what color is it?
Help the swirl.
Pink. Yeah, it's pretty pink.
Definitely pink.
Okay.
I love the color of this one. I think it's, I don't know, it's not bright pink, but brighter pink than a lot of the more lighter, delicate rosés.
Yeah, I love the deepness of it.
Yep. Okay. Now we'll swirl. Okay. Right off the bat, this one's definitely more aromatic than the Viognier.
Yeah, you definitely notice the aroma before you really have to stick your nose in there.
But saying that, do stick your nose down in there.
And smell different parts of the glass, like kind of move it around, because you'll see sometimes like it smells different on the, downward side versus the upward side, depending on how, much wine you have in your glass. If you're having trouble really trying to pin down what it smells like in there, stick your hand on top. I like to talk about this trick all the time, swirl it around and then go in, and you'll see that those aromas have really gotten to concentrate in the glass and haven't escaped out. So you can really kind of get a better sense if you're having trouble figuring out what you're smelling.
Yeah. So this is a little different, but I'm getting some like mandarin orange.
Yeah. Yeah, like those baby cutie oranges.
Yep.
Definitely.
Jennifer's got some sweet apricot. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely get the little bit of tropical note.
Mm-hmm. I know our tasting notes say passion fruit. I have no idea what a passion fruit smells like.
I don't know either, but I know that it is a little bit of a sort of citrusy, a sweet citrusy kind of thing.
Okay.
I know in Hawaii they put passion fruit on papaya to sort of
fruit on fruit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of mellow out. I don't know if you've ever had papaya. Papaya can be very polarizing to people.
Yeah.
And it sort of mellows out what can be kind of funkiness in papaya sometimes.
Okay.
Amy said currants.
Oh.
Carrie said peach. What about floral notes? I definitely get something that's not, yeah, I get the rose, Shirley, like a floral element here that's not quite so fruity.
Yeah. Well, let's taste it and see if we pick up anything else. Oh, Jessica said it smells like the Caribbean with tropical fruit and fresh air. I love that.
I don't know what the Caribbean smells like yet, but
me either.
I'd like to imagine that that's what it smells like.
Maybe a little saltiness too, like the saltiness from the sea.
So I definitely get the strawberry, but I also really get a pronounced sweet, tart watermelon Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, like you need watermelon.
Concentrated watermelon note. I don't know if you've ever had dried watermelon, which is very interesting. I think they sell it at Trader Joe's. It's an interesting thing to try out, but like it has that very concentrated watermelon note.
Yeah. It's not as sweet as you expected, Shirley.
No, I don't
I
think
think
so.
it smells sweeter than it tastes.
Right.
Yeah. What about the body for this one? Do you feel like it's heavier bodied for a rosé? Feel how it coats your mouth a little bit. I think I've had lighter rosés. It's not, yeah, like Erin said, it's not over the top, but I've definitely had lighter rosés.
Yeah. And actually, as it's sort of warming up and opening up, I'm getting a little more of that sort of cranberry cocktail feel to it,
Yeah.
having a lingering finish in my mouth, similar to like those cranberry cocktail beverages. Black cherry.
Yeah. Amy said no legs on this at all. There's not a lot, and it's lower ABV. A lot of
Yeah.
legs usually indicate higher ABV. I have some.
I have a pretty evenly dispersed amount, but that could mean anything.
I was about to say mine are actually very even, like evenly
Yeah.
spaced around my
Yeah.
glass, which is
They're all
interesting.
kind of the same length.
Doesn't really mean anything.
No, it's just a unique.
Yeah.
It would go really well with brunch, Amy. Yeah.
What do you think about the fruit intensity on this one? Definitely fruitier than the last one, like we've said.
Yeah.
It's fairly fruity for a rosé.
Yeah, I would say I don't detect any oak aging on this.
Mm-mm. No. No. All right. Well, tell us a little bit more about Lodi.
Well, more about Lodi, another wine from Lodi, like we said. Interesting fact about Lodi that we touched on a little bit in the last tasting, which kind of echoes back to this, is Lodi was once the watermelon capital of the country. So that's a fun little fact you can throw out at dinner parties. But it has more of a Mediterranean climate with warm summers and cool, moist winters, very dry in the summertime, which is what grapevines love. They love, the heat and the dry air. It helps them grow quicker and allows the grapes to ripen to their full potential. There's also a lot of large rocks in the soil in Lodi, and so that really helps to reflect the heat back onto the grapes so that they're getting the heat and warmth during the daytime, but then even at night when it kind of cools down a little bit, they're still getting that heat radiated back off of the rocks. Now, what would you drink this with at your barbecue this summer? Well, I think whoever mentioned the blackberry was right on point. I think any kind of fruit berry pie with a little bit of tartness, cherry pie a la mode, blackberry pie, strawberry rhubarb pie, all of those would be great with this. But also even just put it out next to your, bowl of ruffly potato chips, or if you're going to bring like mac and cheese to the party, this one would be nice too. Really, the saltiness of those things is really going to bring out the fruitiness in this wine. So if you felt maybe that it was a little more floral than fruity, try it with a potato chip and you'll really find that strawberry and watermelon note like really jump out at you. Also, I would say just some straight vanilla ice cream. Vanilla bean ice cream might be nice, a nice balance to it. Again, they're all going to go with charcuterie boards. So that's just your go-to. If you don't know what to eat with your wine, most people question, what should I drink with my food? If you don't know what to eat with your wine, break out a charcuterie board and you'll be good to go.
We know Erin likes her brie and her charcuterie.
Yes, we know Erin likes her brie and charcuterie boards. There's a couple other wines in your bundle that you got that might be a really great pairing. If you like this one, you got that Right Now rosé as well. And that one is also from California, a little bit sweeter, I think, than this one's going to be, but not super sweet by any means. And that's going to be another one that's going to go great with your like goat cheese and arugula salad. You know, that bitterness of arugula is really going to pair nicely with that one a lot. So if you like this one, feel free to open up the other one and give that one a try.
Yeah. And when in doubt, what's the little saying, the cutesy saying, pink goes with everything, pink pairs with everything.
Yeah,
you can pair anything with rosé. So
pretty much. And like someone mentioned before, brunch, Amy, you said brunch, definitely smoked salmon, that sort of thing. Brie.
Yep.
Amy says this is a lobster wine. Yes, if you live in the Northeast, like me, we're always looking for things to have with our lobster rolls and seafood salad things, crab salad, things like that. This is a New England rosé for sure.
All right. Well, what else would, like in our rosé collection, would you try if you liked this one?
I think I'd try the Waiithia Flame rosé. That's kind of a newer one that maybe not a lot of people have seen yet.
That one's also a rosé of Dolcetto.
Yep, it's also a Dolcetto rosé. And the La Arauca from Chile, that one would be a nice one to try as well.
Yeah,
I think any of those sort of, not the French style, but you know, the more California style rosés. If you like this one, try, you know, maybe Tailored Republic or what's the other one that's out there? Maybe the Penrose Hill even would be an interesting one to try. That's one of our reserve wines that we're currently offering at member pricing. So reach out to your Wine Concierge if you want to give that one a try.
Yeah, that one's good. I don't know if I've had the more recent vintage, but the last vintage, I really liked that one.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, any questions about this bottle, about Dolcetto, about rosé? No. All right. We'll mosey right along then. Our next wine is going to take a big detour from kind of the path that we've been on. The Curature, the 2017 red blend from Rattlesnake Hills, Washington. Kind of a lesser known, but not lesser quality region in Washington State. This one is a Cab Merlot Petit Syrah blend. I love the Curature labels. I don't know if anybody's paid attention to them. There we go. But they have sort of little clues for you on the front on what you're going to get in this bottle. Like it mentions it's oaked. You can see the breakdown of the blend. You'll see a picture of like the cigar box right there. We know we're going to get some smoky notes. You can see the topography of Rattlesnake Hills is hilly, as the name would indicate. And then you've got a lot of information about like the climate over here on the back. So like I said, this one is Cab Merlot Petit Syrah. It is 50% Cab, 44% Merlot, and then just a 6% little touch of Petit Syrah. The Cab really provides like the structured tannins in this. The Merlot gives us the nice body, and then the Petit Syrah gives us a little bit of a fruity finish. And this one, like I said, we're really venturing into a different area than our other two. This one, the ABV is 14.5%, so quite a bit higher. So be careful. Proceed with caution. And very, very dark. I mean, obviously, if you hold it up, it looks very, very dark. Even on screen compared to my black shirt, it's very dark.
Right.
But to note kind of the color intensity, you can also take a look down into your glass. If you can see the base of the stem, then it's a lighter bodied wine. If you can maybe make out a tiny bit of it, but but can't really see the pronounced base of that stem, then it might be more of a medium body. This one, I can't even come close to seeing the stem. It's definitely very pronounced color, very dark.
I can't even read the first leaf on my first leaf. It might be my lighting, but it seems to be pretty heavy there, which is exciting.
Yeah, very
not too many of these super rich dark reds.
Right. And not necessarily the first thing you would think of for like a summer barbecue pairing, but we'll talk about later on why it's so perfect for this.
Yeah.
So first, let's go through the tasting process then. So like we said, heavy color, 14.5% ABV. So we know it's going to be a big wine. Let's give it a swirl and see what it smells like.
Now this one I can smell like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't even need to really go that deep. Like you're getting those primary notes.
Yeah.
Pretty significantly, even before you stick your nose in there.
This is not the first time I've had this, but I'm getting different notes than I did the first time I had it.
Oh yeah?
I'm getting more of that like balsamic right off the bat.
Yeah, I definitely think I'm getting that sort of cola note. That,
Yeah.
like, concentrated. Which I just learned recently, fun fact aside, that like when they first created Coca-Cola, it was like this combination of like 17, 18 different spices that he all mixed together and then put in some tonic water and called it good. And I never really thought of cola as being sort of spicy. It always just seemed like, you know, a sweet, sugary drink. But then it really made me start to think and be like, oh yeah, there is a lot of different notes to cola, and it as it relates to wine, because you'll see cola notes in wines a lot. And if you're not familiar with how cola started, you might not really get it. But now that you know that it originated with all these different kinds of crazy spices, makes a little bit more sense. And I definitely get that sort of pronounced spice.
Yeah. I could see that. Amy said she gets the tobacco and toffee. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting almost like a whiskey or like maybe a whiskey barrel aroma?
Yeah, I get that a lot in the rattlesnake wines. I get that sort of throwback to those bourbon barrel aged reds. There's that sort of hot alcohol note on the nose that kind of hits you sometimes.
Yeah. Michelle said something herbal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very like rugged.
Yeah.
Aged leather. Yeah.
These are, I call these the cowboy wines. Like they
Yes.
just have that sort of leather boot, dusty chap sort of fireside drinking notes to them. And this
I totally agree with Michelle. It smells like an old fashioned. I definitely get that.
Yeah.
Even like the little touch of cherry.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Now we
let's taste it.
smelled all the smells.
Oh yeah, the bitters too, Shirley.
It is lighter than it smells, Mitch. I agree. It definitely, I felt like this one was probably going to like just smack me in the face with that sort of tobacco leather note, but it's really much more refined. And I think that balsamic note really comes out on the palate.
At the first sip it does, but as it lingers, I'm getting those like cola spices that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kathy said we find it very spicy. I do too. On the finish on the end.
Yeah,
There's a little lingering spice, almost like mouth tingling spice.
it's definitely a left turn from the previous ones that we tried. That is
Yes,
true.
so much so,
Yeah.
so much so.
But I
How
like
do you guys, I do too. I do too. How do you guys feel about the body? Do you think it's, Mitch said it tastes much lighter than it smells, but do you think the actual body is lighter than it looks, or do you think it's as heavy bodied as it looks? Shirley said she wouldn't use it as a sipping wine, but with barbecue sauced ribs, so she's stealing our thunder. You're getting a little bit ahead of us there. Carrie thinks it's a little bit lighter than the body or than it looks. So does Kathy.
I mean, it's definitely a bigger bodied wine. It's not.
It's bigger bodied, but I don't think it's as heavy as I expected it to be. Not
No,
quite.
it's not as rich and deep as, say, like the Talaris Petite Syrah or something like that.
Yeah, and the tannins aren't as heavy.
Right.
We haven't really talked about that yet, but the tannins aren't like really, really drying my mouth out.
Right.
What do you guys think about the tannins? Are you getting that like really mouth drying effect from the tannins? I'm not either. I think they're really balanced.
Yeah.
They're there, but they're not overwhelming at all, which I like. Some people really like the heavy tannins.
Right. I like to know they're there. I like to have a little bit more grip, and that's sort of what the tannins do. If you're not familiar, tannins are found in the skins of the grape. So when you have a red wine, the skins sit in contact with the juice and they impart that flavor and tannin and color. And the tannins are similar to what's found in like black tea. They're astringent, they're drying, they make you feel like you've got fuzzy stuff on your teeth, or they can make your tongue feel velvety. It's sort of what's left over after everything's done. What are you left with in your mouth? And I like to have a presence of a tannin in a red wine, but I don't want to feel like I gotta go brush my teeth now.
Right.
So I like that this one is sort of a medium level there.
Yeah. What about the acidity? Let's do our little acidity exercise. So again, give it a little taste, fully swallow it, and then start counting, see how long the acidity lingers, see how long your mouth is watering, and that tells you about the acidity.
Got to like a 3.
I was gonna say like 2.5.
Yeah.
2.75.
Yeah.
I didn't quite make it all the way to
I
3.
didn't quite make it all the way through Mississippi. So yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
But it's not super overwhelming.
Yeah. And then what about the fruit intensity on this one? I'm thinking it's lower. I'm not getting a ton of fruit notes. Like I'm still getting all of that leather, the like maybe a little bit of like chocolate cocoa, those spice notes, maybe some black cherry. If I had to pick out a fruit.
Right. I mean, I would go more cherry Dr. Pepper than straight cherry. You know, it's still it's much spicier. It's not like a Pinot or something where you're going to have that lingering, really present fruit note.
Yeah. All right. What do you guys think about this one? Do you like it? I know it's a lot different than what we've had already tonight.
It is.
Ooh, Jessica would make a mole with this one. If
You guys
I
are giving such good ideas. You guys always have such.
remotely knew how to make a mole, I might try that.
My idea of a mole is adding chocolate. Just right, there's chocolate in mole.
Yeah.
That's all I know. It's like 6 different peppers and chocolate.
Yeah.
That's all I know. But yeah, you guys always have such creative, great ideas for food.
You guys would all cook with this one. So do you not like it as a drinking wine? You think it would be better for cooking with? Carrie said it's not her fave. Did you like the others though? So this one's a lot different than the other ones then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lindsay, tell us about Rattlesnake Hills.
All right. Well, as we mentioned, it is in Washington, sort of in the same area as the Columbia Valley. Rich soils, long days, a little bit of a warmer climate considering it's Washington. It's not going to be, considered super warm, but still has some warm days, and the nights don't cool down too much thanks to the hillsides. Grapes love to grow on hillsides, so that's their happy place. They like to get that full sun contact, which comes by growing in that sort of terraced configuration. Merlots from here are notable for their red fruit aromas and flavors, sweet cherries, red currants, raspberries. There's also some chocolate and mint. Cabernets have that black cherry, cassis, and herbal notes, very pronounced. You'll find they're a little bit more spicy than, say, a California cab, where that can be kind of a fruit bomb sometimes, or very jammy. Washington has a little bit more of a nuanced spice effect to it, which I think definitely comes through in this particular blend. There is a little bit of volcanic influence up there, and the soils that are left over from the Mount St. Helens eruption, it creates a consistent pH level that's credited with balancing the flavors of the grapes. So, when Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980, before some of us were born, after some of us were born, we remember that it coated the area and it created a whole new soil configuration for them. And volcanic soil is great to grow in. It's very nutrient rich, which is surprising. Once it cools down, it's a great place to grow. That's why Hawaii is so great for growing things. So that's why this area of Washington has some really rich, intense soils, and the grapes take up those nutrients, and the deeper the grapes grow into the soil, so the older the vines go, the deeper the deeper the roots go, and the more nutrients and flavors they take up into the fruit itself. So that's why people prize old vine things so much. Now, if we were going to pair this for our barbecue, we didn't really, when you open it up, you were probably like, why am I going to drink this in the summertime? This is this heavy, rich red wine with notes of leather and smoke. Like, I want to drink this in the wintertime. But it is going to pair really nicely with things like pulled pork, any sort of really heavy red meat, a steak, a hamburger, your Beyond Burgers, anything like that. It's really going to cut through those heavy proteins. Tannin and protein like to play together. So when you have tannins in red wine, it likes to break down the proteins in meat. That's why you marinate red meat in wine, because it breaks it down and makes it easier to digest. I would even say baked beans. If you put like a smoky ham hock or bacon in your baked beans, it's really going to bring out sort of the smoky tobacco notes in this wine. I think this is a great one to throw out for your bonfire nights. Roast your hot dogs on a stick around the bonfire out camping and pull this one out, and it's going to be just a fantastic night. I really like this one.
I love it.
Now, in your bundle, if you like this one, we also have the Still & Co. Merlot, which is also from Washington, and actually it's right across the river from Rattlesnake Hills. So it's very similar structure. This one, the Merlot, still has that sort of smoky, leathery quality, but it has a little bit more fruit to it because it's still a Merlot. So this one's going to go great with grilled mushrooms, grilled portobellos, things like that, or burnt ends, that, fun little treat that the barbecue pitmasters usually save for themselves, or that you can, sometimes find in fun barbecue restaurants. That sort of end that's been charred and coated in the sauce. It's going to be a great accompaniment to that one.
Burnt ends are super popular here in Kansas City. So
They're not so popular in New York, so I kind of had to look up what burnt ends were. We don't do too much pit barbecuing in New York, but from what I learned, that it sounds like it'd be a great match.
yeah. I love it. All right. Well, if you like this one, you like that Still and Co Merlot, we also have the Calchas Red Blend, very similar. It's also from Rattlesnake Hills, Washington. Also a Cab Merlot Petite Syrah blend. It is ever so slightly drier than this one. It's not, this one's got a little bit of a fruity sweet, not a fruity, shouldn't say that, a little bit of a sweetness to it. The Calchas is a little bit drier. You might pick up on those tannins a little bit more with the Calchas Red Blend. And then the Rebus Blend, that's the very first one that Lindsay tried that she referred to as a cowboy wine.
Yes. Like this is cowboy.
Yeah, that one's a Syrah Merlot blend. So it's not quite as heavy. You don't get as much of that like tannic influence from the cab, but it's also one of those Rattlesnake Hills cowboy wines.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I don't know if it's just evoked because of the rattlesnake name, but
probably, but
just see dusty boots and leather.
Yeah. Leather, cigars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
In canned beans. Right? Yeah. Like getting real like stereotypical cowboy here.
I totally get it. All right. Well, any questions about the curature or the cowboy wines?
Has anyone tried any of the other rattlesnake wines? Have you gotten them in your boxes?
Erin said like this.
Rebecca says she's here for the cowboy wine. Erin's into the cowboy wine.
I really liked the Still and Co Merlot. Not necessarily the Rattlesnake Hills cowboy wines, but I really liked that one a lot. Mm-hmm. Any takers on questions for this one? No? All right. Well, we also have some pairing recs for you, some barbecue specific pairing recs for you for the rest of the, what is that, 6? Rest of the 6 wines in your bundle. So the Fifth Note Cellars Sauvignon Blanc from Dunnigan Hills, California. This wine we would recommend pairing with something like a smoked salmon, any sort of a grilled seafood, fresh veggies, or if you're trying to take a dish to an actual barbecue, instead of maybe just your veggie tray, make a Greek salad instead, throw some, not goat cheese, some feta in there. Or even like grilled peaches. I love grilled peaches. I always kind of forget about them. Grilled peaches, grilled watermelon would be really fun with this. It's a fruitier Sauvignon Blanc. A classic Sauvignon Blanc, but it's got some nice fruit notes to it.
Yeah, I think the Fifth Note is a little bit a touch sweeter and fruitier than your classic New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs, even your Chilean Sauvignon Blancs. It's going to have a little bit more of a stronger fruit note to it. So if that's what you're into, that's a great one to try.
Erin said almost richer. Yeah. It's got like a little bit of a, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a heavy bodied Sauvignon Blanc, but it's got like a little bit richer.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then up next, we have the Fog Break. Yep, the Fog Break Pinot Blanc from Monterey County, California. This one pair with your lobster rolls. Like Lindsay said, she's always looking for something to pair with her lobster rolls. Beer can.
It sounds like I eat so many. I'm just lounging on the Cape, eating lobster rolls at the lobster pot every year. But the Fog Break Pinot Blanc is my favorite white wine right now. And if you are one of my customers, I have probably stuck it in your box a couple times already right now, because I think it's just so wonderful for summertime.
Awesome. Yeah, it's very light. I feel like it would pair with a lot, honestly. Great.
Yeah, we just scratched the surface here.
Yeah, a great one to, like, if you're just going to a barbecue, going to a picnic, grab that one. And
Really easy drinking, has a little bit heavier alcohol content than you would think with a white wine. So it's nice for my higher ABV fans out there. It's still a white, but it still has a bit of a punch to it. Not super heavy in the acidity or anything, just really light and fresh.
Yeah.
And yeah, like
A bit of like a texture though, too.
Yeah,
Salinity.
definitely.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people say this is the closest they've found from us to a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. That sort of grassy.
Yeah.
It's not super like grapefruity or anything, but it does have that nice minerality. So
Yeah. All right. And then the Tailored Republic 2020 Pinot Noir from Aroseco, California. This one also, I mean, Pinot Noir is one of those that you can pair with a lot of foods. It'll go really well with your lighter meats, pork, chicken, grilled veggie kebabs or grilled chicken kebabs. Yeah, really easy to pair. Another one that you could, if you don't know what somebody's going to be serving, you could absolutely grab this and take it.
yeah, this is another one of my all-time favorite wines that we have. And I always have to have it in my cellar, just as that sort of like grab off the shelf, don't know what to bring. This one's going to go really great.
Yeah. And then we've got the Whip Stitch Petite Syrah. This is kind of, again, switching gears. This one's a lot heavier. This is a 2018 from Lodi. Like we said, we love our Lodi wines. This one's going to have a little bit more, kind of like we talked about, the Petite Syrah and the Curature blend brought that fruitiness. So this one's going to have a little bit of a sweetness to it. Definitely not a sweet wine. Don't let that scare you. But it's going to bring that fruitiness, just a touch of sweetness, would go great with your barbecue ribs, grilled lamb, your brisket, those heavier dark meats.
Yeah, I get a lot of raisin notes in this one. So if you are one of those people that really likes those heavy dried fruit, concentrated raisin, I get spicy chocolate raisin are the notes I have in my personal note file about this. Yeah, with Indian food, it would be fantastic. It does have just that touch of fruit that really just makes it a great complement to something that maybe is a little gamier or something.
Yeah. Oh, Shirley said she had this one last night and loved it, and they had it with Indian food. That would be great. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Amy said the Curature Cab Sauv is getting better, growing on you a little bit as it. I'd be curious to know how soon you opened it up. Mine has been open for well over an hour now. So those tannins are a lot softer, but if it was hadn't been open very long, those tannins might have been a little harsh right off the bat too.
It's true. I opened mine at, I think, around 4, and I really got those sort of dusty, pronounced tannins, but at this point it's sort of mellowed out. So yeah. if you're on the fence, try it again tomorrow and see what you think. See if it's mellowed out a little bit for you.
Yeah. And then this Thistle and Quail 2020 cab from Sonoma County, California. This one, again, is pretty versatile. It's a nice cab, but you could pair it with something as simple as burgers. The only burger I wouldn't pair it with is a chicken burger. I think it would the chicken burger would be a little too dry.
Yeah.
But veggie burgers, portobello burger, turkey, beef would go great with this.
Yeah, this one has a nice strawberry fruity note to it that's going to really just kind of sparkle against any of those sort of smokier burger styles.
Yeah, a little bit of char.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think this is our last one, the Devil's Advocate 2018 Red Blend from California. This one, another, I keep saying it, but very versatile, could pair with a lot. These are just 2 of our recommendations: pastas, pasta salads. This one could go with mac and cheese, pulled chicken sliders, not pulled pork, pulled chicken sliders, any sort of a barbecue sauce. Yeah, sauce.
Yeah. This one's really smooth. Like those tannins really just sort of lay down and just let the fruit note shine in here. It's a really great popular blend that a lot of you are really liking. If you like Pinot Noir, try this one. It's sort of that like nice next step up from sort of the lighter reds. And it's just your universal, another go-to, bring it to your barbecue, stick it on the drinks table and watch it disappear pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I think that does it. Yep. That's all of them. Shirley said she had the Whip Stitch Petite Syrah. Has anybody else broken into this case and tried any of those that we just went over?
And if not, how do you have such self-restraint?
No.
The night is still young. That's true. It's a holiday weekend. You could burn through this case by Monday.
That's true.
Carrie's tried the still.
Oh, that's true. A couple of people did say they'd had the still and Co Merlot, which I really liked that one.
Did you think it was a standard Merlot though? I mean, I feel like people have such stigmatized ideas of what Merlot is.
I did not. I thought it had a little bit more to it than the stigmatized Merlot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely more interesting, more layered.
Yep.
And Carrie says she didn't think she liked Merlot, but she liked the Still & Co. So yeah.
Amy's going to burn through hers before Monday.
Good job.
No.
What is stigmatized Merlot? Stigmatized Merlot is Merlot got a bad rap and it's pretty lame. Why? But it's all based on the movie Sideways that came out, I think, in the late 90s, early 2000s, maybe mid 2000s. I'm not sure when it came out, but it was about these two guys traveling around wine country, and Paul Giamatti, was that the name of the actor? Someone like that, was very adamant that he hated Merlot. And a bunch of people watched this movie and were suddenly like, don't like Merlot. And actually it affected the Merlot industry, which is kind of surprising that one Hollywood movie could have such a wide reaching impact. But it made people think, I don't like Merlot either, because he went on and on about how much he hates Merlot. Yep, as Amy said, the famous line in the movie. And if you haven't seen it, go out and rent it. It's a great, fun movie. Don't hate Merlot at the end. But yeah, it just kind of got a bad rap. Merlot, sometimes people think is a little bit flabby, not very interesting. Cabernet Sauvignon gets all the glory when it comes to red wine, especially from California and Bordeaux and things like that. But really it's Merlot that's hanging on and anchoring Cabernet and making it more round and easy to drink. So don't give up on Merlot, like Tori said. Hopefully you're all too young to know about the Merlot scandal that happened from Sideways and weren't touched by it, but keep giving it a try. I know some people I feel like Chardonnay, Riesling, and Merlot are the three grapes that people are like, don't want it, never give it to me, but give it a shot because it can be different.
Yeah.
It's grown.
Yep. Merlot can be interesting. Chardonnay
is interesting.
Yeah, Merlot. Yes, Merlot is interesting. I think, yeah, like you said, Chardonnay gets a bad rap. People just associate it with that buttery, super buttery, oaky, which is some people love. But I think some people overdid it. And Chardonnay doesn't have to be like that. Chardonnay can be light, a little bit lighter and fruitier, and unoaked. Or same for Riesling. People are like, never give me a Riesling. I hate sweet wines. Well, Riesling can be dry. So it's worth a shot. I love dry Riesling.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys haven't had a lot of questions, but any questions before we sign off and release you to your 4th of July weekend?
Well, we do have some things to remind you about. If you have not worked with a wine concierge before and you want to learn even more fun, kooky wine facts like you learned tonight, feel free to reach out to one of us. Tori will put our links in the chat box. I'm available for your appointments. There's other wine concierges that's been in the chat tonight that they can also, what was your favorite wine in this box? My favorite wine is probably always going to be the Fog Break. And I'm not a white wine drinker, but I love the Fog Break. But yeah, make an appointment with the wine concierge. We can talk to you about what you like, what you don't like, get you set up, make sure your boxes are filled with wines you're always going to love. Also check out our Facebook group, which is the
First Leaf Wine Club Lovers.
Yes, First Leaf Wine Club Lovers on Facebook. We don't run it. It's run by one of our fantastic members, just like you guys. It's a great resource for you guys to hear and learn about new wines and bounce ideas off of each other and find out what people are pairing it with and how they're enjoying them. And then after this whole thing is said and done, we're going to send you a survey, and we'd want you to answer that survey. Let us know everything that you loved or didn't love about the tasting, what we can do better, what you want to see in the future, what you want to learn more about. We design these so that you guys can learn more and can interact with us and just really, find your favorite First Leaf wines. So take that survey, let us know what you think. And the next tasting will be coming soon. If you check on the website, August is going to be cabs around the world. We don't necessarily know yet what cabs we're tasting, but keep an eye on your inbox and we'll definitely send you more information on that. And then the next tasting after that will probably be in November. So I know if you are on Instagram or Facebook, they've sent out some notifications. They want to get an idea of who wants to come to more tastings. So sign up, get on the waiting list for the future tastings so that we can keep bringing you more and more fun information.
Yep. All right. Final thoughts, questions, concerns before we wrap up? I'm glad you learned a lot, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us. I know it's July 1st, Friday, July 1st. So a lot of people are off already on vacation. So we really appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Glad you had fun. Glad that it sounds like everyone enjoyed at least one or two of the wines, if not all of them. But like Lindsay said, give the cab a little bit of time. If the white and the rosé were really, really cold, see what they taste like now. Go back and try them. See if you taste the same things, because they definitely change a little bit as you let them warm up. Let us know if you have any questions. Tori posted the links to book with herself and Lindsay, set up appointments with them. They're awesome. They'll hook you up with some great wines, or if you just have questions about our wines, they can answer them for you.
Yeah.
All right. Happy 4th. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next month.
See you guys next time. Bye.